Welcome to Budget Beauty, where I help you look flawless for less. Welcome back, and a very special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen, and this is Budget Beauty. We do everything beauty on a budget, and that includes testing new makeup. And I have a pile of new and new to me makeup to test out with you today. So I'm coming at you barefaced. The only thing I have done so far is my skincare because we have a foundation to test out that I'm really excited about. So if you can't wait for another testing new makeup, give this video a big, huge thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not, turn your bell on because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. I will link all of the products that we are testing today down below for you. Click the link, super easy to shop that way, as well as all of my favorite beauty boxes, all of the other makeup that I'll be wearing in today's video, as well as come on over, follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. So I'm ready to put some makeup on for the day and test out these new products. So let me zoom you in and let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and prime my skin with my NYX Marshmallow Primer. That is the face primer that I have recently been using. And then, as always, I go in with my Milani Supercharged Under Eye Brightener. I have mine in 120 Peach. This is another product that I use every single day. And I literally use the tiniest bit and I just tap that under my eye. And it just helps put that perfect canvas for makeup, gets rid of any dark circles, and it's not cakey at all. It layers beautifully under makeup. So the foundation we're gonna test out today is brand new to me, what I was wanting for the remainder of summer and for a lot of those days where I just don't wanna wear a full face of makeup, but I still want a little bit of coverage. I want a little bit of glow. I love a good glowy product. So I grabbed this one. This is from L'Oreal. This is the True Match Lumi Glotion. It says Natural Glow Enhancer. So I don't think this is going to give us tons of coverage, probably more like a skin tint, but I'm really excited to test this out. I have shade 903. So what I'm hoping out of this foundation slash skin tint is very, very light coverage with lots of glow. It does have the little tube applicator. Ooh, it looks pretty glowy just putting it on my hand. It is a little bit thicker than I even expected consistency wise. I'm going to go ahead and just tap that on the skin. Then I'm going to just tap that in with my beauty sponge. That's really beautiful. It's definitely glowy. I would say a light coverage. I can still see discoloration, blemishes, but it is that really pretty glow, which is exactly what I wanted. Again, that lighter foundation slash skin tint that just gives a little bit of coverage, but really gives you that natural glow. I can also feel that it's definitely drying down. I am going to apply a little bit more because I'm curious if I can get even a little bit more coverage, more like a medium coverage. And again, just tapping that in. I am going to give it just a minute to dry down completely. I can still feel that it's a little bit wet and tacky on my skin. I'm going to go ahead and do my concealer, my cream blush, cream bronzer, and set my face with powder because I have some powder products to test out. So before I set my face with powder, update on the glowy foundation. I really like it. It looks really beautiful on the skin. I did go ahead and add a little bit of cream contour. I did do concealer, set my under eye, but like I said, I have not set my face yet. It is just the slightest bit tacky, not to the point that you would have to set your face. So if you really wanted that glow from within, dewy look, and you didn't want to set your face with powder and just go with the glow, you could definitely do that with this foundation. I think it's beautiful, and with adding that little bit more, it gave it a little bit more coverage. I would say it's still a light coverage, on the verge of a light medium coverage, but it is absolutely beautiful on the skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my face, and then we'll do our powder products. So I very lightly set my face with setting powder just to keep a little bit of that glow. I really like that. And we're gonna test out a new bronzer. So a while ago, I tested out the new L'Oreal Infallible blushes and love them. And I have heard amazing reviews about the Infallible bronzer. So I picked one up. I grabbed mine in the shade 350 Medium. And we're gonna test this out today because if this is as good as the blush, this could be a really good go-to bronzer. So I'm going to pick that up on a fluffy brush. Ooh, that's a pretty color. It is definitely more of a cool tone bronzer. I use either cool tone or warm toned bronzers. I would say I definitely prefer a cool toned contour, but with bronzer, with my skin tone, I can do a warm toned bronzer or a cool toned. And I would say that this is more of a cool toned bronzer, but it's really, really pretty. Isn't that beautiful though? It's blending in really, really nicely into my skin. Even though my skin is still a bit tacky from that foundation, it is blending nicely. It's not just sitting in place. I'm able to really just buff it into the skin. So there is the Invaluable Bronzer from L'Oreal. Like I said, it buffed into the skin, really pretty. I do actually like the shade of this. This is the perfect shade for me. It's very buttery to the touch. And like I said, very blendable, just blended right in and melted into the skin. And then I decided to grab one of the ColourPop blushes from the Alice in Wonderland collection. I actually didn't buy anything from the Alice in Wonderland collection, but this blush always kind of spoke to me when the collection was released and I never picked it up. And I thought, if I'm gonna place an Ulta order and we're gonna test new makeup, we're gonna grab it. So this is the powder blush in the shade Silence, and it is very much a coral pinky orange blush. Perfect for summer, perfect even for fall. ColourPop makes a really nice powder blush formula and very, very affordable. Typically very pigmented, very blendable. So I'm going to go ahead and tap that on the cheek. We have pigmentation for sure. I mean, I can even go to the other side here. Oh yeah, definitely have some pigmentation. That is really pretty. I always like to take my blush just a little bit across my nose for that kind of sunburnt look, a little on my forehead, a little on my chin. I didn't pick up any more product, just kind of what was on the brush, but that's pretty. It is very, very pigmented. Now you could definitely go in with a lighter hand for a more natural look. You could build this up like I did for a bolder look. I like a good bold blush, and this is stunning. I'm really glad I picked this up. I'm going to go ahead and get my highlighter on, get my eye base on. I always use the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. I do have a eyeshadow to test out with you guys that I'm going to have to pair with some matte. So we'll do the whole eye look together, but I'm really excited about this new eyeshadow that I have. Highlighter is on, and I added my MAC Paint Pot Painterly to my eyes as my eyeshadow primer. So like I said, I have a new shadow to test out with you, but it is a Duochrome shimmer shade. So I need some mattes to build up the look. So of course, I'm gonna go into my blends, my Blend Bunny Blends palette. This is my go-to palette if I need mattes. This is a full matte palette with literally every shade that you would ever need. The formula is the best of the best. You guys know I love Blend Bunny. I own everything from the line. So I'm going to use the blends palette to build up the mattes, and then we'll test out this special shimmer shade. I'm actually really excited about it. So let's go ahead and get some mattes on the eyes. So I want to do a more pinky look today. So I'm first going to go into the shade Sunsets, which is this kind of pinky peach. With a fluffy brush, I'm going to tap that in and use that in the crease as my transition shade. The blends palette, I'm not even joking when I tell you it is the best formula from Blend Bunny for mattes ever. Now, I like their shimmer formula a lot as well, but where I feel like the brand really shines is their mattes. I have over 200 eyeshadow palettes, maybe even 300, and I use my blends matte palette all the time. Whenever I just need a matte, because it has every color in it, I instantly reach for my blends palette because it never disappoints. The quality is so good, and like I said, there's literally every single color of matte. To deepen up the crease a little bit, I'm going into this beautiful bright pink shade called Chase, also picking that up on a fluffy brush. And with this shade, I am just going to focus this on the crease, not going above the crease at all. That way I still have that pretty pink light, or that pretty light pink transition shade popped right above the crease. And that's going to give it a little bit of gradient. I'm just using this deep shade, this bright shade Chase, to deepen up the crease. And by the way, that was one tap in to the Blend Bunny palette for that pink. I mean, so pigmented and super, super blendable. one last quick time into Sunsets, that light pink that we used for the crease, and I'm just going to use that to just buff out the edges. Now for the outer corner and to deepen it up, of course, I'm picking up the deep shade Vamp, which is this really nice kind of pinky purple mulberry shade. And with a flat brush, I'm going to just tap that on the outer corner. Can you see how pigmented that is? It is incredible, the formula, the matte formula from Blend Bunny. So, so good. And then one more time in with that first brush that we used for the crease, no added shadow. And again, just a quick blend. I'm going to pop on some NYX Glitter Glue Primer on my lid and let's test out that new shadow. So this was a super exciting release from LA Girl. I have heard really good things about these, and then I've heard not so good things. So I'm like, I have to test it out for science, right? We have to do it in testing new makeup. This is the LA Girl Shade Shifter Duochrome eyeshadow. I picked mine up in the shade Sunset. Now, duochromes are supposed to shift to at least 2 different colors. So from pink to yellow or green to blue. So there should be some type of shift. Now, I will preface this with saying that this isn't going to be the duochrome shift that we would see in indie shadows like Blend Bunny, Unearthly Cosmetics, Adept, but I'm hoping that LA Girl does the duochrome justice. I believe that these are about $9 per shade, which is not terrible for a duochrome. It is a pretty small pan. So here's the shade, and you can see that it looks pink, but then it shifts to kind of that green gold. So in the pan, it definitely has a shift. Let me swatch it. Ooh, that is so pretty. Okay, it's pretty. It's definitely pretty. It's definitely shifty. Not as opaque of a swatch as, like I said, I get from indie shadows, but I'm excited to test this out. So I'm going to pick it up on my finger. That is how I prefer to apply shimmer shades. And then we'll also put it on with a brush on the inner portion of my eye so we can test out both applications. So I'm going to just tap that on my lid. Okay, I am definitely getting some payoff. Now, based on what was on my finger and what's going on my lid, it's definitely not as opaque as what I get on my finger, but super, super easy to build up. So that was just another tap in. That is actually really, really pretty. I will also say that it is buttery soft in the pan. I mean, absolute buttery soft in the pan. So again, going back in for a second time to build that up. So it applies really, really nice with my finger, but I also want to test it out with a brush. So I'm going to pick some of that up on a brush. So you can see it's a little bit of a wet formula. And then I'm going to use the brush to tap it on the inner portion of my eye. Okay, that actually picked up maybe even better on a brush than on my finger. That is actually a lot prettier than I thought that it was going to be. It's definitely shifty. As I turn my head, it shifts from pink to the gold to the green, and it applied really, really beautifully to the eyes. So because that duochrome has that shift from pink to gold to green, I actually think I'm gonna pop green on my lower lash line, and I'm hoping that that will bring in a little bit of the green out of that duochrome. So I'm going to pick up the deep green called Luxe on that small brush and buff that on my lower lash line. Ooh, I really love the green lower lash line. I think that's really fun and added just that little bit of extra pop of color that goes with that duochrome. And then back into that really bright shade Chase, I'm going to just buff that right on the top of the green. Ooh, that's pretty. And it kind of pulls a little pink under the lower lash line as well. And then back into our little duochrome from LA Girl, picking that up again on that flat brush. I'm going to pop this in my inner corner. So here is the completed look. Let me go ahead and do a liner and mascara, and I'll be back to do brows together. I've applied liner, mascara, and gloss. The gloss that I have on is actually from Glamlight, from the Scooby-Doo collection. Like I said, all of the other makeup that I've applied off camera will be linked down below for you, but I'm ready to do my brows, and I have 2 new brow products to test out. So the first one actually comes from a brand called J-Cat Beauty. Now I've heard of this brand, I've heard really good things about it, but I've never tried anything, so I'm super excited to test this. This is the J-Cat Perfect Brow Pencil. I always get mine in a brunette or a dark brown. So one side of this is the actual brow pencil, and it is a little bit thicker tip, but you should still be able to fill in your brows and draw those hair-like strokes. And then we have a spoolie on the other end. So what I look for in brow pencils is creamy, but not too creamy. Creamy enough that I can draw those hair-like strokes and it goes on and fills in my brow, but not creamy, but not too creamy that it smudges and looks muddy. So let me go ahead and fill these in. I have pretty thick brows, actually really thick brows, kind of out of control brows. So I don't really have to draw hair-like strokes as much as what I'm looking for is to just fill in any sparse areas, which I have quite a bit on this brow right here, especially towards the front. Wow, this is nice. This is really, really nice. That filled my brows in absolutely beautifully. And it is the perfect creaminess. I really like this, and this is really, really affordable. And then I always set my brows with a brow gel, and I've never tried the Sephora brand brow gel. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna order this, I'm gonna test it out, and we're gonna see if it sets my brows but doesn't make them crunchy, because I don't really prefer crunchy brows, but I want a brow gel that's going to, again, give me some tint to finish filling in my brows and set them in place. My brows get crazy and they go all over the place, especially as they grow out between waxes. Now, I just got my brows waxed not too long ago, so they're looking pretty good right now, but they will get really long in between waxes where we actually have to cut them with scissors when I get them waxed. So I appreciate a brow gel that adds that tint and also holds them into place. So again, this color, really, really nice. Let me allow it to dry down a little bit. I actually need to get dressed because I'm heading to the gym to work out this morning. So let me get on my gym clothes, put my hair in an appropriate gym ponytail, and I'll be back to share my final thoughts on the testing new makeup. All right, I am back. I am ready for the gym, and I am here to give you my final thoughts on all of the new makeup that we tested in today's video. First, let's talk about the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion. I love this. This is everything I was looking for when it comes to a light coverage, glowy, more like a skin tint versus a foundation. But what I really like about this is you're able to build it up if you want a little bit more coverage. Now, I would say you're not going to get more than a light to medium coverage from this. Maybe if you really caked it on, you might be able to get a medium. I don't know how good that would look. I feel like this is more for those no makeup looks, those more natural days, but I really love this. I don't have any skin tints right now, and that was part of the reason that I wanted to pick one up. I'm actually going to Hawaii in October, and I really don't wear makeup when I'm in Hawaii much because, you know, you're in and out of the ocean, it's hot, and I thought that this would come in perfect for that. Really, really happy that I picked this up. And the other L'Oreal product is the Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Bronzer. Love this as well. I think the color is perfect for me. This blended out beautifully. It layered up. I was able to build it up and just give me that sun-kissed glow, which is exactly what I look for in a bronzer. I don't want a bronzer that when I put it on the skin, it just stays there and it looks like a harsh line. I want one that I'm able to blend out that kind of sinks into the skin, and this definitely did that. And then the Silence blush from ColourPop from the Alice in Wonderland collection. This is beautiful. The typical really good ColourPop blush formula. Really nice, very, very pigmented. Again, light hand for more natural, heavy handed for more bold blush. I love a good bold blush. I just love bold makeup in general, and I really like this. This color is definitely unique to my collection. I have corals and I have pinks, but this kind of falls right in the middle. And the Alice in Wonderland collection from ColourPop is typically on sale on Ulta as well, since it was released a while ago. Really glad that I grabbed this as well. And then the LA Girl Shade Shifter Duochrome. This is probably what surprised me the most from today's testing new makeup. Like I told you before we applied it to the eyes, I don't expect greatness when it comes to a duochrome. I don't expect it to rival indie duochromes. She rivaled indie duochromes. This is stunning. It is so pretty. I saw it in my bathroom mirror with the lights, and it is just so shifty and so opaque on the eyes. It is that nice, buttery, soft formula. This literally blows me away. They have several colors. I'm going to pick up more. I was thinking too that this would be the perfect one and done. You just swipe it on the lid and go. It would really be perfect for that because of the shift. It looks like you have multiple colors of shadow on. And I think the price point for this is really, really good considering the quality. This definitely was the star of the show. And right behind that was this J-Cat brow pencil. I love this. My brows, if I do say so myself, look pretty great. They're definitely filled in. They look natural. I was impressed with this and I definitely want to test out more products from J-Cat Beauty. And then last but not least, the Sephora Brow Gel. So it's been sitting for a while. My brows are not crunchy, but they're definitely held in place. And when I touch them, they feel set, if that makes sense. Not crunchy, but set. I personally would never buy a high-end brow gel. I really wouldn't spend over maybe the $10 price point for a brow gel because so many drugstore brands, and Sephora brand included, do a phenomenal job to hold your brows in place. This color was perfect for me, and I feel like it paired really nicely with the J-Cat Beauty brow pencil. So we tested out 6 new to me makeup products, and all of them were a huge hit. And of course, the Duochrome shadow blew me away. So I would give today's testing new makeup a 10 out of 10. I will link all of these products down below for you. Again, all of the other makeup that I'm wearing today, if there's other products that you want to test out for yourself. And make sure you're subscribed, your bell's on, because I plan on doing lots of testing new makeup. And I have some really great content coming out in the month of August. And then of course, as we move through the holidays. I'll also link my TikTok down below if you'd like to follow me there for some more beauty on a budget. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.